have made a huge mess of my life and don't know what to do. I 19/F started dating my 23/M boyfriend 3 years ago. When we first started dating we didn't tell anyone because he said they wouldn't want us together. Eventually my sister, who a year older than me, found out. I begged her to not tell our parents. They eventually found out and were extremely mad. It caused a lot of arguments and my boyfriend told me to stand up for myself, tell them to make a choice to accept me with him or never talk to me again. Me and my parents never really go along much, and let's just say in the last argument I left and went to my sister's, who moved out a couple weeks before. I stayed with her for about a week and then my boyfriend told me to move in with him. He said it'd make more sense and that I wouldn't be a burden to my sister by staying at her place. I agreed and thought it was a good idea. My sister was hesitant about it. She kept asking me if I was sure it was a good idea since we only been dating a year at this point, but I insisted it was a great idea. After moving in with him it was okay for a little while, but then I noticed he'd get angry very easily. One day I was cleaning up after food and drop a plate and it shattered on the floor. He lost screaming and shouting about how I couldn't do anything right, that it was simple to just put the plate away. He was screaming so much that I started getting scared, and so I picked up my phone to text my sister. He then grabbed my phone from my hand and threw against the wall, making a hole. I started crying. At this point he apologized after an hour or two and said he doesn't know what came over him, that he'd been so stressed lately. I never said anything, and the next day I drove to my sister and explained what happened. She was shocked and angry and wanted me to leave him. I was thinking of breaking up with him too in that moment. But that evening when I was going to eat at our place, really romantic, and he said he was so sorry and he would never do it again and begged me to give him another chance, so I stupidly did. Fast forward a few months, I was going to a concert with my sister as she had gotten me tickets for my last birthday. It was a singer my boyfriend hated, so I didn't go with him. We had a great day, but when I went home that evening he lost it, screaming again and throwing everything, saying that he couldn't believe I would do that to him, that I shouldn't be going to concert without him because that, acting like I'm single and I will cheat. I swore to him I would never, but he wasn't listening to me, so we were screaming at each other and suddenly he threw a punch at my face. I was so shocked and started crying. He seemed shocked too and started crying, saying he is so sorry and that his ex had cheated on him and how it had left him with trust issues. I left that night and stayed with my sister for a little bit. She didn't want me to go back, but he came over and begged me to come back and I did. A few months passed and he said he got a job offer a few hours away and he had to move. He asked to come with him. I didn't want to leave because all my family and friends are all here, but he said we'd be so much happy if we moved away from everyone and got a fresh start. I mentioned all this to my sister and she told me she didn't think it was a good idea, that it was too much a risk if I left because if we ever got into a disagreement I have nowhere to go. I told her it'd been months since anything like that happened and I think he'd gotten over, but she still thought I shouldn't go. That evening when I came home my boyfriend asked me why I always ran to my sister about our business. I said I didn't, but he said every time we disagree about something I was always going to her, that we need to have private discussions and I couldn't always be running to her. I apologized for making him feel like I was doing that and said I try not to as much. We did end up moving away, and that when everything went bad. About 2 weeks after moving I was looking for a job, but he told me I didn't need one, that he will make enough money for the both of us. I told him I need a job to occupy myself. He got angry, saying it looked like he couldn't take care of me if I got a job, and after a lot of arguing I eventually gave up the idea. Another day after, in disagreement because of something stupid, he punched me in the stomach and slammed my head against a wall. I rang my sister. I hadn't seen her as much since we left, but we were still close. My boyfriend saw I was calling and lost it. He had grabbed my phone and smashed it on the floor. He shouted so much, screaming about how I need to keep our business private and that how can he trust me with anything if I kept crying to people about it. He said he felt he couldn't trust me. About 3 weeks after this my sister came over because she was worried that I hadn't been calling and she couldn't get through to me. I decided not to tell her what happened this time, as it always made my boyfriend mad, so I lied and said that I broke my phone by dropping it and hadn't been able to call. She asked was everything okay, and I said yes. My boyfriend came over to us and then said everything would be perfect if she kept out of our business. She said she just wanted to make sure I was okay and that if I was in danger it is her business. My boyfriend then asked, can I come into our bedroom for a moment so we can talk? He told to make my sister leave and to tell her never come back, that she doesn't like him and that I need to choose now once and for all, him or her. I loved him and I told my sister she need to go, but she knew something was wrong and kept asking is everything okay. That was when my boyfriend told her to get out now. She said no, not until she knew I was okay. I told her to leave, that I didn't need her help now. My boyfriend was happy I said this. He said after he was relieved I finally chosen him for once. It eventually ended in an argument with my boyfriend and me against my sister. We both said some hurtful things, and in the end she said she will go, but if I ever need her at all, don't be afraid to call, that she will always answer. Was so angry. I said I will never need her again. I saw the hurt in her eyes when I said this, but she said nothing and left. That was 6 months ago. Now ever since that day everything been going bad. My boyfriend sold my car, so now I have no way to leave anymore. He did get me a new phone, but his phone plan is on it now. Nearly every day we argue, and it always ends with him beating me. I tried to leave once and regret afterwards when he caught me, because he beat me so bad I thought he was gonna kill me. Last week he started choking me. I thought I was gonna pass out from it. I found out I was pregnant 3 days ago, and I don't know what to do. I want to leave him for final this time, because I realize everything that been happening now, and I can't bring a child into this type of life, but I have nowhere to go. I want to call my sister to apologize, but I don't know will she answer me, since it's been 6 months since the fight. I have really messed up and I have no way out of it. Small update. I have been read all of your comments. I think I will try to give my sister a call, but I have to wait until my boyfriend goes to work or leaves in case he hears me call. Another small update. My boyfriend went to the store and has been gone a little over an hour now, so he will be back soon. So I finally rang my sister while I still had the confidence to do it. I tried ringing twice with no answer, so I left a voicemail and apologized and asked can she ring me back when she get it. She rang back nearly right away. She said she didn't answer the call as she didn't know the number. The reason is because a different one than I used to have, and hadn't expected to be me. We talked for a while. I apologized a lot for everything that happened, and she said that it was okay. She said the argument did also bother her a lot. She wanted to ring me afterwards, but couldn't since that phone was broken. She said wanted to come over a few times these last few months, but was afraid she would make it worse for me or that I wouldn't talk to her. She said she's so happy I rang and that I finally want to leave for good. She said that she has been so afraid that she was going to hear that something bad had happened to me one day. We talked for a bit more and I explained more of everything that has happened. She wanted to come pick me up straight away, but I told her she couldn't, that he would be back way before she got here. We agreed that she will come tomorrow once he leaves for work. Once he leaves for work I will gather all my stuff and pack a bag. I don't want to do it now just in case he see them when he get back, because then he will know I am leaving. I know this may sound messed up to say, but I still do love him in some way. I'm not sure how, but I do. Thank you all so much for the comments and support. I don't think I will be able to update you anymore today. I will let you know tomorrow. Update. Some stuff has happened since my last update. I tried to pretend everything was normal. When he came back I had my clothes folded away in the wardrobe and any documents I had hidden under them. Before he went to work he became very angry. He found out I had called my sister. I had deleted Reddit app but had forgotten to clear call log from my phone. He must have went through my phone at some point. He was very angry, asking why I had called her when I know she hates us and that she was always trying to keep us away from each other. He was shouting a lot and hitting his fist against the wall. I wasn't really saying much at this point as I was afraid. All I said was that missed her and just gave her a call to see how she was, and that the call ended in us fighting. I said I wouldn't call her again, but he didn't listen. He was still screaming and he slapped me in the face with the back of his hand. He said he doesn't know how he can ever love or trust me if I keep doing stuff behind his back. He then realized he was going to be late for work at this point. So he grabbed me by my hair and threw me into our bedroom. He said we will talk more about this when he get home from work, and he locked the door from the outside of the bedroom, which locked me inside it. He took the phone from me, saying I clearly couldn't be trusted with it while he is gone. I couldn't call my sister to tell her what happened as I didn't have the phone while I was in bedroom, so I didn't know if she was still going to come. After about 30 to 60 minutes I saw my sister car pull up from the window, and so I opened the window. It doesn't open completely, but it opens enough to talk to her, and explain to her that I was locked in. I told her where our spare key to the house was, and she came in and then unlocked the bedroom door. We quickly packed everything I need and left not long after. I left a note basically saying how I was leaving and wasn't going to come back. When me and my sister got into her car I started crying and apologized to her for everything that has happened. She gave me an old spare phone that she had and told me to keep it, so that is what I am using now. She told me that I could stay at her place for as long as I need. I haven't spoken to my parents yet, as I find that will be a much harder call to make. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do next, but I won't be going back to him. When I left him before I was always hesitant, even when leaving this time I'm not. We are still on the way to my sister's place as of now. Another update, this might be the last one for a bit. Sorry for not answering everyone back. A few hours after me and my sister arrived at her place he called my sister phone, as he had her number from before and no longer had mine. After a couple calls my sister answered it. He asked her has she seen me and she said no. He said he know that we called the day before and she said we did, but it ended in us fighting. I had told her that is what I said to him before he left for work. She said she hasn't actually seen me since our fight that time 6 months ago. He then started saying how he think I'm starting to lose my mind, how I keep forgetting things, and that I have saying stuff that never happened and then forgot about saying it at all. He said to her that I've been lashing out and becoming extremely dangerous to be around. He told her how he was worried about saying that he was afraid I would hurt myself or someone else and that if she seen me to tell him right away as I'm dangerous to be around. I think he was trying to make her not trust me or something, I'm not entirely sure. My sister obviously didn't believe a word he said but just played along as if she did and said he would let him know if anything came up. He then went quiet and hung up the phone. We now not sure if it was a good idea for her to say that, as it seems weird that she was so against him before and now suddenly was saying she would tell. Earlier today my ex showed up to my sister's place. He knocked on the door. My sister answered the door but didn't unlock it fully. She kept chain on door. She told me not to come near the door as he didn't need to know I was here. He started saying can he come in when my sister said no. He said he know I am here and need to talk to me, that it is very important. My sister said I wasn't here and she hasn't seen me. He got angry by this, saying he know that I am here or that she know where I am. He said that she been trying to pull us apart since the start and if she mind her business we wow. LD be happy. He started trying to get the door open but I didn't since the chain was still on. He kept shouting open the door. He had his foot between the door so it couldn't close. He was cursing and shouting lots at my sister, so I was going to walk over to the door and tell him to go away. My sister just shook her head no, so I stay back. After a bit of my sister trying to make him leave the door, she said she calling the police if he didn't leave, and when he still didn't leave she picked up her phone to do it. He then left before she actually called. He said before he left that she going to regret coming between us. When he left I asked her not to call as I wasn't ready to talk to them yet. She really wanted to, but I told her that I will report him today, but I wanted to try and talk to our parents first. So we gave them a call and we plan to meet up later today. After that I'm going to report him as I don't want my sister to be in danger or get hurt because of me. I wanted to leave my sister's place as I was afraid of putting her in danger in case he came back, but she didn't want me to leave. She insisted for me to stay and that she would be okay. I think I may terminate my pregnancy as I'm not sure if I am ready yet and I don't want him to find out about it. I'm still trying to decide. As I am planning to report him today, I'm not sure if I am going to be able to update you all as much, but once again thank you all so much for the support.